Okay.
Hey everybody. We'll put your left foot in, we'll put your right foot out. I hope all of you guys have power and water now. It's been kind of a wild week in Texas.
Yes.
I know it's affected Heather and I, so just thinking about all of you guys and hoping that you're doing okay.
Yeah. Yeah, hell of a week.
Seriously.
Hell of a year. Hell of a 2 years. My goodness. But, adapt and overcome.
That's right.
Name of the game. And like Jack said, I hope that everybody's doing okay, has what they need to recover and help their neighbors. See folks from Killeen, College Station, Fort Worth tuning in. Hello, DFW.
Yeah, and over the last week we were working basically from our cars, using our cars as generators to complete these graphics. Our graphic designer hung in there and really helped us, and so did another one of our colleagues.
Yeah. Thanks, Stephen.
Yeah.
Teamwork, making it happen.
Yeah, otherwise it would have been really difficult for us to be here today, I have to be quite honest. So thank you, team, and thank you to all of you guys watching right now.
Yeah.
It's exciting to be at the Capitol.
Yeah.
There's going to be a couple meetings and luncheons down here while the display is up, so that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we are, as Jax was saying, we're here at the Texas Capitol in Austin. It is a beautiful day. The storm has cleared, and we are not letting this, pandemic and this recent storm derail all of our plans. This issue is just too important to let it slide because it's a busy year and it's tough. We're doubling down, we're making sure we're sticking to our priorities and ensuring that lawmakers understand this issue well enough to get on board with legalizing marijuana in the state of Texas. Marijuana prohibition has failed by every measure, and we're seeing it being seriously talked about now like never before. And for several legislative sessions, we've done these exhibits at the Capitol where we print out these graphics to talk about different points, and we're doing several educational exhibits at the Capitol. The first one here is on legalization, on repealing marijuana prohibition and all the benefits, the job generation, the tax revenue that we could see, and of course the social justice side of things, the benefit of not arresting tens of thousands of people every year, which is what our state continues to do. And so, what else should they know about the exhibit before we go ahead and give y'all a tour of the exhibit here live?
I would just say this was a pertinent subject before, just like you said, and then the pandemic happened, and now, this disaster is on track to be worse than Harvey. And so for this particular exhibit, I think it's really important that we're talking about how we can help our state with a regulated market for the consumers, but also there's going to be a lot of tax revenue that needs to be brought in through licensing fees, et cetera. So it just became even more pertinent to the conversation. So while being thoughtful and careful about how we're talking about this, we definitely need to realize that this is important to the bottom line, and even more so than ever before.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we are in the extension of the Capitol, and so we, as you may know, if you joined us here before, is that we have the main Capitol dome and the main building, but then underground there's a whole extension, 2 floors worth of committee hearing rooms. There are legislative offices down here, and this is where most of the action happens. We've got hearings happening, as Jax mentioned, caucus meetings, luncheons. They are getting back to work because they have so much to do. On top of redistricting, the pandemic, sunset commissions, now they have to deal with an energy crisis. So lawmakers are going to be here. They're working hard, and staff as well. And so we want to make sure that they know all the good reasons to support marijuana law reform in Texas.
Absolutely.
So before we get started, though, I do want to mention, and we'll talk about this again after, Lobby Day.
Yep.
Today was supposed to be Lobby Day, our first virtual Lobby Day in Texas, where all of us from around the state are scheduled for virtual meetings with lawmakers, because as you can see, there's nobody here at the Capitol. They are taking very few in-person meetings, but they are visiting with constituents through video conferencing. And today was supposed to be our big Lobby Day, but because of just the turmoil that we've all been going through over the last week, we have rescheduled for March 29th. Monday, March 29th is going to be our virtual lobby day, and we have an orientation.
Exactly. So we'll have all that detail and information and registration links out to you later today. But first we want to walk you through the exhibit. It was going to be great to have everyone talking with their legislators about this topic today while this exhibit rolled out. But it's actually going to be serendipitous that our next lobby day will be right after a medical cannabis exhibit that we're putting together. So there's a total of 5 of these exhibits that we're putting together, and this is just the first one. So I guess we should kick it off and let's go through what we got.
All right, you take the mic, I'll take the camera.
I'll be your Vanna White today. Here, let me pick up that slack. This is how we do it. Sorry. Entertainment from the Capitol hallways. And there's actually quite a lovely view. I don't know if you guys can see it, but behind me through the glass, you can see the Capitol dome, and it's just lovely. You definitely cannot tell that we were under a bunch of snow and ice recently. So the first one that we're going to talk about is let's compare ourselves to a lot of the other laws across the country. So you can see that there's only 12 states that still have cannabis as being illegal, and we do have a wide variety of legalized for full retail adult use, for medical use, and then also decriminalization. We've got a nice little key right here, and of course there's a QR code down in the corner so that anybody when they're walking by can snap that QR code and have access to these links. It's also important to talk about the support that's out here. Now, this is talking about legalization. Of course, there's much higher support for medical cannabis, but this is amazing. 64% of Texans support legalization. And we have it broken down by Republicans, Democrats, and independents. And this was from a raise your hand poll that came out earlier this year. I want to say it was just last month, or earlier this month, maybe. And let us know where you're from, you guys, where you're watching, and share this with your friends who can't maybe be with us here today. All right, so this is regulation versus prohibition. So it's pretty clear that regulation is going to be safer and better for everyone than prohibition, but these are just a few of the things like IDs being required, products being tested, and standardized labels so that people know the products that they're getting instead of having to get from the illegal market or illicit market. Also, we have a really awesome coalition, you guys. We've got over 24 different organizations that span the political spectrum that have joined us in trying to change the laws here in Texas. So there's some new additions and some longtime advocates, and it's really great to see so many people supporting the cause. Should we go to the arrest one? I feel weird tethered. So where are we getting most of our people from? Houston, Dallas, we got some Austin people, Colleen.
Longview, Cypress.
Awesome, Longview, Cypress.
All around the state, people are tuning in right now.
Great. Well, this is a very important one, racial disparity in policing. A lot of this information comes from the ACLU, but also from some different articles and research that's been done. But clearly we can see that there's a disparity. And whenever we look at urban areas that have done deprioritization, we see that there's still this disparity in enforcement, and it's even more evident whenever we get down to that level. So on the same vein as talking about social justice and racial disparity, we've got enforcement of the law and how much it costs, broken down by a pie chart to give you an idea. But, $311 million, I can think of a lot of other things that money should be spent on. Let's reallocate that, shall we? And, one of the common concerns that we hear from people is that there's going to be so many stoned drivers out there. And let's be real, DUI remains illegal, and almost every bill that's got the retail cannabis actually explicitly says that you cannot drive under the influence. So we just wanted to outline for people that there are protocols already in place to keep us safe on the roads. And what are some of those impairments, roadway safety and enforcement, so that we can make sure that we're addressing that in a really logical way, and instead of having a fear-based kind of ideas about that. we talked a little bit about savings, and let's also talk about job creation. There's a lot of unemployment. I think maybe we're not at the highest unemployment ever, but it's pretty up there. And so we can see that 20 to 40,000 new jobs because there's a lot of ancillary job opportunities, and there's also this job growth that you've seen in the cannabis market. So let's not miss out on that. It's definitely a great opportunity for Texans. And then on the same, vein of jobs and savings, we've actually got revenue. So you've got licensing and application fee revenue, but you've also got effective tax rate revenue. And they've calculated that with a projected rate that's similar to Colorado, that $1.1 billion could be brought in on the biennium. I tell you what, it is hard to breathe in this mask, so hopefully I don't sound totally out of breath. And this is just another banner of all of our coalition members. We're really lucky to have them. They're all so awesome. And we've got a table here. Normally we'd have it full of handouts and all of our sources so that people could pick it up. But instead we've got the QR code and our contact information so that people can reach out to us. And our beautiful lobby day, this was from several years ago. And then our last one right over here is fact versus fiction. There's a lot of common misconceptions about cannabis. And so we address 5 here that are kind of the top concerns that we hear. And so we think that through this will help people kind of reduce that fear and understand that it's actually going to be safer for everyone if we bring this market fully into our regulated market space here in Texas and not leave it just to the drug cartels to run. It's much more important for us to be in charge of it as Texans. So I guess, do you have anything to add, Heather?
Yeah, I want to talk more about Lobby Day, but I want to fix the...
Okay, we're going to fix this thing here. Oh, excuse us. He's trying to pass by. I'm sorry. Thanks. Okay, so Lobby Day, we had to call it, guys, and postpone it. And we were really, really sad to do that because I know a lot of people were looking forward to our orientation and then participating in Lobby Day. But unfortunately, we had to make the call. And I think that it was the right decision to choose to postpone it. And we were thinking, we could just postpone it a week or two. But really, a lot of people are displaced right now. And we don't want to add the pressure of that happening in this moment. So it's being postponed. The trainings, there will be 2 orientations. I said trainings, but orientations. And they'll be on Sunday, the 28th at noon and 3 p.m. And then Lobby Day will be on Monday, the 29th.
Yeah, so it's a 2-part event. Orientation is necessary. You have to register and participate in orientation. We have 2 times. We have 2 options on Sunday right before Lobby Day where we're going to do a dry run. We're going to log in. We're going to break out into our breakout meetings, figure out how the chat works, and troubleshoot. We want to hit any trouble during our orientation.
Yes.
So that Lobby Day goes smoothly. So within the description, we've got links to this exhibit with detailed graphics and links to all of our sources. We've got a link to Lobby Day. Learn more about Lobby Day, exactly when, where, and how you can participate and get registered for orientation. Please make sure you're sharing this with your friends, family, loved ones who support this cause. We need all hands on deck to make sure that this issue remains a priority at the Texas Capitol. We also see a link there in the description to contact your legislators. Make sure they know that legalization is a priority for you. You want to see these laws changed. It'll be especially great for them to be hearing from you today while this exhibit is happening here at the Capitol.
And just a point of clarity, I see Lisa on here saying, was that February or March? I apologize for not being clear. It's going to be Sunday, March 28th at noon and 3 p.m. are the 2 orientation times. And then the actual Lobby Day will be on Monday, March 29th. So later today, we'll send an email out to everybody. We'll post on our social media all the new links. I really want to encourage everyone to participate if you can. Last session, we had a Lobby Day with over 400 people participating on a Tuesday, dressed professionally up at the Capitol. I mean, it was really a powerful and validating moment, I think. for all of us. And I would really love to be able to have at least that much representation, if not more, at this virtual one. I know that virtual has its own limitations, but please try to join us. And there's been a few questions about, what if I don't have a web camera? What if I can't do this, that, and the other? It's going to be on Zoom, so you can call in. You can call in from your cell phone. If you happen to still have a landline, you could call in from your landline. So we're trying to really prevent technology from inhibiting people from participating. So if you have a phone, you can participate. If you have a laptop with a good webcam, that's ideal. But of course, I know not everybody has that.
Yep, that's right. And again, make sure your friends, family, loved ones are aware of what's going on. Make sure you're signed up for the email list so you're getting notifications, action alerts as they happen. We have a lot of work to do to overcome the challenges that we're facing, and we're not giving up. This session is rocking and rolling. We're fully underway at the Texas Capitol, and if we aren't making this issue a priority, it's not going to be given the consideration it deserves this legislative session. So let's make sure that we're all taking action and doing our part.
Awesome. Thanks, Heather. It was great to see you today in person.
In person.
Yeah, I know. We've both had a really rough week. I'm still without water. I know, Heather, you've got a lot going on your plate to take care of your situation as well. So
yeah, pipes, no hot water. We were without electricity. You had 90 hours. I had 80 hours. And I know that others had it even worse than we did. And so we're thinking of everybody out there that's recovering from the storm, helping their neighbors. Really lean in on your community at this time. Reach out for resources if you need them. People are supplying food and water, other services as well. So we're thinking about y'all, and we are going to continue keeping up the fight, making sure that this issue is a priority. So thank y'all so much for tuning in.
All right, guys, catch y'all later.